The day is finally coming. It is the end of an era. Make sure to hit that subscribe so you can follow along with all of my travel, theme park, and review updates, especially the closing of Dinoland USA at Disney's Animal Kingdom. An entire section of a park closing down to make way for a new area, Encanto, and it's going to actually be really beautiful. So I'm not mad at it, but it's definitely the end of an era. So sit back, relax, and let's take a final look around Dinoland USA at what's closing. And actually, there's a lot that's not closing right now. So stay tuned and let's find out. Have you heard the backstory about Dinoland? So let me give you a little bit of a synopsis here. So Chester and Hester, which own this gift shop, they wanted to kind of take advantage of something that happened in their little sleepy town, and that is the finding of dinosaur bones. So that's why you see all of these funny signs on top of the building, and then also how this became like a roadside attraction. So they took their little gift shop and gas station and they turned it into this massive roadside attraction, as you see across the street, where they turned their parking lot into the Dino-rama. Everything in this little town has become dinosaur obsessed, bringing in tons of tourists because they found out there are dinosaur bones here. So this theme goes throughout, and if you really stop and look around at everything, you can see the progression of the dinosaur fantastic craziness that comes to this little sleepy town. Did you ever wonder why all of this dinosaur stuff was here? Well, that's kind of the backstory. So the dinosaur ride has an entirely different theme about the scientists that come in and try to, of course, find more dinosaur bones. So it's kind of like the tourism industry versus the like science industry. So this little rivalry that they have. Now, Restaurantosaurus, which is the restaurant that's here, has an entire storyline also. It's the scientists versus the interns. So the interns, of course, they are, working hard. They actually live in the upstairs of the restaurant. They work in the restaurant. They work at the Dino Institute. And you can see all of like the little nods to what's going on throughout the restaurant. We'll take a look at that actually at the end. Now, Restaurantosaurus is not rumored to be closing quite yet, so you still have time to go over and take a look and see all the theming throughout that. But again, we'll look at that towards the end of this video in the not closing section. But for now, this gift shop has so much to look at if you look up. I always say when you're in a Disney park, you gotta look up because that's where all the theming is. So this gift shop is no different. If you look up, you can see all of the little nods to what's going on in Diggs County. There's little notes on the wall. There's like news clippings everywhere, just updates on everything that's going on as these dinosaur bones are being found and people are coming, including the Dino Institute. So that's what all of this is. It's not just decorations and a dinosaur themed little land at a Disney park. It has an entire backstory to it. Back here are those roadside signs, so let's freeze on them for a moment and really investigate what's happening in these signs. So here's the sign advertising the Dino Institute, getting people to come there. So come and see Dinosaur Zoo, the world famous Tyrannosaurus Rex, and also play in the boneyard. Then hop over and visit Dino-Rama for all the games and fun. Next on this advertisement for Diggs County, where fossils are a way of life, you see the Dino Institute Zoo and also the rides. And if you look really close, what else is there? This spinning roller coaster was taken down in 2020. Notice how Chester and Hester also increased their parking from 50 cents to $2. That's right on brand for Disney. Triceratops spin did not leave when Primeval World did. It is still here for a few more days. This is a Dumbo style ride, and it's actually pretty fun. So in the parking lot for Chester and Hester's, you can see little touches like the tires that they use and different things that you wonder, like, what is this about? Well, there's actually, like I said, a whole background. So they had this gas station, they turned it into a gift shop, and also this parking lot, which you can see the lines are still there. That's supposed to be there. It's representing the old parking lot now turned into Dino-Rama. But again, all becoming extinct on January 13th. But for now, let's take a look around Dino-Rama. We took our last day view. Now let's take our last night view. It's a totally different vibe here at Dino-rama with the lights and the games. Definitely got that roadside tourist vibe. This area has changed many times. As you can see that as we're passing that large dinosaur cutout, it was one of those games where you whack it with the hammer and it goes up to the top. So that game obviously has not been played for a while. And what did they do? They stuck a little snack stand in front of it. If you really think about it, Chester and Hester went all out with Dino-rama. These giant Instagrammable photo ops, these huge, attractive tourist roadside type things that will bring people in. All of the theming is on point to the world of dinosaurs, even down to the little tickets. So, was there a little Disney in Chester and Hester? I think so. Yellow or white? Oh! Dang it! I am horrible at this. The vintage retro style Christmas decorations were always so fun to come over and see. Also the characters like Donald and Daisy and Chip and Dale, they would have Christmas attire on. So it was always really fun to see this. And added this year, they actually brought in a whole little Santa area over in the Restaurantosaurus. So will that come back next year if that area is still open? Possibly. Now, I don't think Chester and Hester's are actually going to have a going out of extinction sale, even though it would be totally perfect if they did. I'm sure Disney is just going to move everything from this store over to one of the other stores. But let's take another look at these epic signs on top of Chester and Hester's. Now, what's going to happen with all of these signs and decorations and everything here at Chester and Hester's? I don't know. I'm guessing John Stamos will take it. I kid. I don't know what they're going to do with all of this stuff. But be on the lookout at Gas Connections, because I've seen a lot of stuff like the chairs from Carousel of Progress. $15. I'll never get over that. And what started it all for Chester and Hester, the gas pumps. So there's one last look around the parts that are closing here at Dinoland, USA. But it's not all going away. Not quite yet, that is. There's a few sections that are going to remain open. So let's take a look around that. See what we can still do if you're coming probably in 2025 here at Dinoland area. What's going to remain? Let's take a look. So strangely enough, there hasn't been any reports about the boneyard closing, which seems odd because it's right at the entrance that you would assume they're blocking off, but they must be keeping that section open still, so you can head in and have a little bit of playtime here at the boneyard, walking around and, well, looking for fossils. The other section is the Restaurantosaurus area, So is this going to remain open to provide more for this area with the dinosaur ride staying open? So I guess this whole section is going to also remain open. Now, who remembers when Restaurantosaurus actually served McDonald's food? I remember the kids' meals also used to be served in a bucket, and you could take it over to the boneyard, and there was like a little sand area that kids could play in. But that, of course, was when they first opened. It had to have been in like 2005, 2006, somewhere around there. So let's talk a little bit about the uniqueness of Restaurantosaurus. Like, what is even going on here? Now, without knowing the backstory, of course, about the Dino Institute, the interns, all of the situation that actually is Dinoland, you know, with Chester and Hester and the fossils, all of that. So if you take a look at all of the little decorations, you get the backstory. So up here on the ledge, what you're seeing is remnants of those interns. So they actually live up there. So this is like their shoes and like all kind of things, signifying that they kind of hang out here at night. So the interns are what work at Restaurantosaurus, but they also like hang out there and they do their work there. The scientists have their section of the restaurant. The interns have taken over several parts, and then also they are just keeping their junk everywhere. So it's all these little nods that you gotta find throughout the restaurant, including the red, yellow, and white pipes going through, which is a nod back to that sponsorship with McDonald's of the ketchup, mustard, and mayo. I'm not sure if I got any of that in this video or not, but let's take a look. So they needed more room, so they added this Airstream. All of this is kind of hodgepodge put together, but let's take a look inside Restaurantosaurus, starting with one of the most popular parts here for Disney tourists. It's the bar. It is a very, very tiny bar. It's manned by one cast member, but it's definitely a hot spot for people to pick up those drinks. So this section of Restaurantosaurus is oil paintings done, of course, by the interns all over the walls. So you might be thinking, like, what is even going on? So there's a whole storyline behind the little drawings all over, of course, oil paintings done by the naughty interns. Then you have this section, which is all kind of decorated more with the theming in line with the tourist part. And then, of course, all these little sections where you get a lot of that backstory, like whose keys are these? The menu still serves hamburgers, even though they got rid of the toppings bar, which is still very sad. and the hip joint, which is like the hangout for the interns, where there's little nods to everything that they kind of have going on and the work that they're doing and the games that they're playing. There's just things to look at everywhere that go along with the storyline of what's going on. And this is that added Airstream trailer back there, which is so fun. Dinosaur the ride is going to stay open through 2025 as last reported. So what's a little backstory on this? It used to be called Countdown to Extinction, 1998 when it was first opened. But in 2002 when the Dinosaur movie came out, they did some changes to make it fall more in line with that IP, because of course everything at Disney has to be based off a Disney ride. So that's when some changes were made, and it became called Dinosaur. So what's the backstory regarding this? Well, the Dino Institute wants you to come and check out everything that they have going on. You get a little speech from Bill Nye the Science Guy, then randomly the mom from the Cosby Show comes out and tells you some more information regarding the journey you're about to embark on. But of course, like any Disney ride, this one is no different. Something crazy is about to happen that's unexpected, and you're going to go on the journey of a lifetime in this Dinosaur Dark ride. Have you been on it? What's your thoughts? It's probably my least favorite ride just because of how jerky it is, but I actually really like the one at Disneyland, which is the Indiana Jones. So we'll see how it turns out. Will it be an exact replica of the one at Disneyland? We'll find out. This area is the trail of seeing Daisy in her cute little costume. She's the person in charge of making everybody's cute little outfits. So this is her little fashion area. She, of course, decorates this dinosaur. And then around the corner, one of the most popular character meet and greets here is Chip and Dale in their cute little dino costumes. So that this area, I think, is closing, but I'm not entirely sure. It might actually stay open just to still have that area for those character meet and greets. So there is a nice in-depth look at the whole area of Dinoland, USA, the parts that are closing this weekend, which is January 13th, and the parts that will remain open through 2025. So what are your thoughts? Do you have memories from this area? I remember taking my son when he was little and he loved this boneyard area and the rides, and it was just such a fun, nice little area. And of course, we always ate at Restaurantosaurus every time we came here. But it's going to cease to exist or extinct, as they would say. I also have several videos of closing attractions here at Disney, including the Cars video from the Lightning McQueen show and the riverboat Tom Sawyer and anything else that's going to close. I also have one on the Muppets area at Hollywood Studios. So take a look.